All right. Can you tell us your name and occupation?
My name Jose Maria Osorio Gonzalez. Everybody calls me Pepe. Okay, been a tour guide for 29 years.
Wow.
Studied to be a teacher anyway, but easier to be a tour guide.
What did you do before being a tour guide?
I used to teach
What do you teach?
history, junior high history.
How did you learn to tour around?
My brother is a tour guide and he invited me to be a tour guide. Recommend me, and by accident once I had to help him guiding because I know the Pepe, you know the information, you speak the language, so help me, we need a tour guide. And I found it nice and interesting, so since then been a guide.
What did you find interesting and nice about it? What did you like?
Showing my culture to the people. Showing my culture. I mean, really, I consider myself as tour guides are some kind of historical or cultural diplomats of Mexico. So it's the best way for me to show the reality.
In that sense, do you feel a sense of pride in what you
definitely, definitely, and that's the point. You know, to give to all the visitors a real context, okay? Not just what they read in newspapers, what they might see on TV. I mean, to show them the reality of Mexico, okay? And which is also important. And I mean, unfortunately, in this job, there are many tour guides who just do it because of the money, and it's easy money, and in some ways, in some cases. But in my case, it's really nice or important to show the reality, our history, the culture, and that the Mayas never died, and they were not abducted by the aliens, and they're here, okay? It's a living culture.
Do you think that your connection with the culture and your sort of like mission of diffusing Maya culture opposite to other guides, do you think that that's the norm? Do you think that there's more guides are more like you, who talk more about identify with the Maya culture?
In where I am right now working, which is Merida, and most of the guides there, I would say they have a special pride of showing our culture. Probably and sadly, in Cancun, Riviera Maya, the guided tours there are different. They have the other goals. See. You know, take people to a tourist trap to make money, you know, commissions, things like that. But now here in Merida, where I'm working now currently, yeah, most of us have this special pride of showing our culture.
Do you think this is new? Has this been, is this the way it's been in the past?
It's, well, since Cancun started, I would say there's always the difference between Yucatan, see, and tourism in Cancun. Day tours, okay. I'm not saying that all tour guides are all travel agencies, but they have other focus or other goals, see. Unlike in Merida, where people are really the people that visit us are really looking for culture, the real thing. See?
So basically, the narrative is different.
See?
More, how would you describe it? Your narrative, or yeah.
It's tricky because it doesn't mean that they don't know. It's actually sometimes it works better if you know a lot. If you're gonna take a group to a Maya store, and they offer obsidian, you're gonna talk about the obsidian value for the pre-Hispanic Mayas to convince people of the importance of that. So then you will get the attraction and create the need of getting the obsidian. Got it? So you need to be informed. So the purpose of why you're saying it's different in terms of I'm trying to convince people to buy something, and of course I use information. Sometimes others use exaggerations, but it's not the same way as a person comes here to Yucatan and they simply want to learn the culture, and of course you have to have facts, and that's a big difference.
Where you're
in my personal perspective, no. No, I'm sad to say. My brother is also tour guide. My two sisters are secretaries. My mom was a hairstylist. My dad was a carpenter.
Mm.
We grew up in a small town with lots of history, with lots of colonial history, Isamal.
Mhm.
But sad to say that my dad never really encouraged us to learn Maya or our heritage. It's something that we got later, when I was in school, the teachers, but not in my family, in my case.
Do you think that you're going to a grandpa now?
No.
No, your sons and daughters, do they show similar interest in the Maya culture?
Not really, unfortunately. One, it's marketing, and the other one wants to be an architect, and the other one wants to be a psychologist. They care about the culture, which I know they have a very special pride. See, and whatever I know, I try to teach them that. See, but other than that, their focus on or their interest is different.
So two more questions. One is, can you tell a little bit about your perspective of the relationship between Maya ruins
Mm-hmm.
and local populations? I mean, do you think that they are connected, or as you said before, there's a little bit of disconnection between them? I mean, where's your perception?
Maya people, Maya Mexican local people,
Yes.
and the culture.
Yeah.
It has. I think my perspective is that local people don't show that much interest. See, in general terms, only if we had to do with economy. Let's say, like my best example will be today Chichen Itza. See, sadly, Chichen Itza is invaded by peddlers. See, by vendors, more than 1,000 vendors at Chichen Itza, and of course that's creating a special interest among people that live near Chichen Itza because of that.
Mhm.
But other than that, general people that live in the cities, they show us some interest, but not much. Many people don't know. Many people my age. I was very surprised once. An ex-classmate from high school. Accident, coincidence, 3 years later I met him, and I see him again, and we talk about what I do, and he says to me that he has never been at Chichen Itza. See, and that we may apply that to many people. See, and it's the lack of interest.
Why do you think there's that lack of interest? Which I agree with you, there is.
Why? Ooh, it's a very deep, hard question, and I know it's not nice. That probably the answer, but it has to do probably with all the things that the education and what they've been telling us, that our culture might not be as important as a modern culture, or the idea of copy.
Ready? Yeah. Donde? Sí.
See the why not the interest, or not much interest. The education, the programs, they first teach us about the Greeks and the Romans and the Egyptians, and then they teach us a little bit of the Aztecs and the Mayas, and then the society. I insist in modern life. I don't know this analogy, but they rather go to a place to eat McDonald's or Burger King or TGI Fridays than go to a Mexican restaurant and eat sopa de lima or panuchos, right? So as if what comes from the outside it's better than our culture. And then in terms of what we will call the middle class, if we talk about the people from lower classes, or let's say the indigenous, the Mayan people, the real Mayan descendants, not mestizos like me, let's say, or almost everybody's a mestizo today, but where we see more the culture, the feeling that they have to be accepted. See? So they do as much as they can to be accepted, and therefore the price of that is many times to lose the loss of the culture. That's why probably the new generation didn't want to learn more or about what the fathers or grandfathers knew.
Would you say that applies also to language?
Including language, yes. Including language. Many people, they when they are among themselves, It's more comfortable to speak Maya if they learn Maya at home, of course. But if they go to the city, they will do as much as they can so the other people in the city won't realize that they speak Maya. Because if the other people realize that, then they will think like second-class citizens or that they're not as important because of the Maya factor, which should be completely the other way. They should be proud and actually they're bilingual. So it's how many people are bilingual, right? And they don't see it that way.
Yeah, I agree.
See, so
You-
people that, as an example, in ancient times, and I don't know if I want to say ancient times, in early 1900s, mid 1900s, Maya families who still have that are born with a Maya last name, that in order for their sons to be accepted, as an example, if their family name it's Ek, which means a star, when they go to register themselves, instead of saying Jose Ek, they will say Jose Star, or Estrella in Spanish. Or if they have another name, they will change it. See, in order for their kids or the new generations to be more accepted. And that's another way how I see that, sadly, but people are denying their roots.
We'll do a final question. What would you like to see in the future in terms of Maya culture and people engaging with their culture? So I guess the question would be, do you have any predictions and wishes for the future?
My predictions are not optimist.
Oh.
My predictions. My wish, I wish they keep. And not like a person once said to me and misunderstood. See, it's not that I want on one side the Mayas to stay like a rock in a museum without changing. My wish is that eventually Mayas would keep the culture, and especially the language and many traditions, and progress economically, become doctors, lawyers, teachers, but keep the language and among other elements, right? But it's not easy. I mean, it's hard. And the only way I see it is if the Mexican government and the education department not just uses the Maya to teach Spanish as it really happens in bilingual education. Because at the end, as more Maya kids that go to school, less Maya they want to be. They should implement an education system where a Maya can go and study any degree in their language, like become a lawyer in Maya. I mean, of course, bilingual, but where they still read Maya, become a doctor or become an engineer, but all the way through college in Maya. I think that will be the only way if we really want to keep our heritage for the future. Not easy, of course.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Muchísimas gracias, Pepe.
Tomás, mucho gusto.
Estuvo tranquilo.